Here's pulling the tank off of a first gen in case somebody needs this. So first thing, you want to have some kind of plan of what you're going to do with it after it's off the bike. In my case, there's a big empty bin, and having a bin is a good idea because you don't know if the thing is going to leak or not. So since the thing may or may not leak, we want to have something kind of fluid containing to catch it. So first thing we're gonna do is pull the bolts out of the front. Leave the back bolts alone for now. So pull the bolts out of the front. If you can drain it prior to doing this, that's a pretty good idea. So pull the bolt, pull bolt, pull the other bolt. If you can't drain it, I'll show you a trick for how to do it towards the end of the video. So now the tank can come up, and then as it's up, we can disconnect some things. So grab your tank prop rod, because tank prop mean. So grab the tank prop rod, prop up the tank, and then down here, which we can't see from that side because only the best video production possible. So down here, let me see if I can get some light on. Down here is the petcock. So the bottom line on the petcock goes to the carb, and that's for vacuum. So that you should be able to just yank off, hopefully. There may be a clip holding it or something, but there isn't a clip in this case. The upper line is the one that fuel actually travels down. So we need to disconnect that. Usually that has the annoying clamping, clamp thing on it. I can't remember what the correct name for it is. But set of pliers or set of needle nose or anything else usually makes quick work of it. So let you in on a secret. In my case, I usually just cut the thing because I don't need it to survive. I just cut the fuel line and then take it off the easy way. But anyway, squeeze the ends together and wiggle it off. The next thing you want to do is usually these lines are kind of baked onto the petcock. So you don't want to squeeze it, you just want to turn it. So you don't want to squeeze it too hard, you just want to turn on it so that it unsticks, so that it can come off. So I'll try to do that. Just wiggle it around. Sometimes they can get really baked on there. See, can't pull it. I can't really get there very easily. Sometimes it might be easier to do it off the fuel pump side. So since that's not coming off and I can't get my hands in there, we're going to get to do it on the fuel pump. So same thing, this is just the other side of the line. Move the stupid clip out of the way, grab it, and rotate it around so that it unsticks. And once it's unstuck, you should be able to wiggle it off. This line has apparently been there for eternity. Come on. Alright, and then it pops off. Expect some dripping out of the fuel line. Maybe not in this case, but I got lucky. Usually you will get a trickle of gas coming out. Now, if your petcock is shot, however, you will get a stream of gas, so be prepared to like kink it or cap it off or something. Now, another thing that needs to happen while we have it up is, while we got it up, is we need to disconnect the fuel sensor. So that wire, I'm gonna go back around the bike, over to the left side. So this wire, follow it down, and in this case, it's actually super accessible right here. Usually it's probably a little less so, but just squeeze the tab and pull it off. Hey Beavis, pull it off. So somebody did a very nice thing and zip tied it to something. So I need it free so that I can carry the tank away. So this zip tie needs to die. So now the tank is disconnected. Now on the other side, again, I'll just keep running around the bike with the camera on like an idiot. On the other side again is the breather hose. So I'm going to come down a little bit more. Let's see if I can show you the breather hose. So the breather hose sits right here in the bottom of the tank, and it just goes to ground, so it doesn't really do anything. And it's usually just kind of on there, so you can usually just squeeze it, maybe twist it around to get it to crack, and drop it down. So now that we're done under the tank, we have to do something over the tank. So put the tank back down, otherwise it gets tumbling. And all we need to do is grab a bolt driver, or grab a wrench or a socket, and pull those two bolts out. No big deal, right? So next, I have my bin ready, and I can just pick up the tank and walk it over here. So now, there's probably a 90% chance that I'm going to make a mess, but here's the trick with draining a tank. If you don't have a way to suction from the top, or if you don't have a way to, or if you don't want to make a mess by just pulling the switch out, pulling the petcock out. So we grab a small tube, perhaps the one that was already on the bike, that's coming off the car, and with that small tube and our mouth, I know, terribly disgusting. If you provide even a little bit of suction, it really doesn't take much. So obviously, if you have a suction pump of some kind, if you have a fluid extractor, obviously there are much easier ways to drain the tank. But if you've got nothing, and if you don't have vacuum working off the bike, so if you were to, I am going to make an absolute mess of my shop, because that's how we roll. But if you were to suck on this tube, the petcock opens and gas comes out. No chance of getting gas here because this is separate. This is just a vacuum switch. So if I need to drain the gas and I've got nothing else going for me, I can just kind of start sucking on it and then cap it off with your finger and then sit here for a really long time. And if your container that you're dumping that gas into is filling up, just take your finger off, the petcock will shut. Now, this is assuming, of course, that the petcock actually works. In this case, I got lucky. If it's a leaking petcock, then you don't need to do that. It will just self-drain for you very gradually. So yeah, anyway, that's first gen tank, how to pull it off, how to drain it, and all that happy stuff.